Welcome back to the homestead. You know, I'm old enough to remember the $5 footlong. Do you remember that? I went to Subway today, 10 bucks. Ordered a footlong turkey sub, 10 bucks. Also, remember just a few short months ago, several months ago, we had gasoline when diesel popped over 5 bucks and we were all outraged. Well, right now we have not record highs, we're just barely under record highs. So we're at that $5 mark for diesel, which is going to exasperate inflation. And you know what? We're not outraged. And you know what happens when we're not outraged? We basically take this economy and this horrible political environment, this inflation environment, and we just take this abuse because we don't stand up. And that's where we're at right now. It's horrible. So we are dealing right now with the effects of the stupid monetary policy that occurred during the lockdowns and during the sickness that we had. And, you know, we shut down the whole global economy in an absolute blunderous, horrible, stupid way. And we basically created a digital breadline. We didn't feel the effects of that at all, because what did we do? We just threw excess money into the system, and it just kind of dollar papered over the problem. And so we didn't feel really any pain unless you're a small business owner and your business was shut down, but the big businesses weren't. But the consumer was kept in apathy because of all the bailouts. Businesses got the PPP, the individuals got the money, and so we threw all of this money. And so we went from literally record high savings rates just a year ago. Americans had record high savings. And so everyone was happy, and everyone was doing their Airbnbs and buying their bicycles and living in their safe spaces and living their truth with all of their money and being promised that they're going to be bailed out by their student loans. I mean, all of this absolute horse crap was going on, all of these false dreams and false promises. Okay, fast forward 3 years later, and where we're at in 2023. And the $10 footlong to me is a beautiful example of where we're at right now. The other thing, we're at a 23-year high on mortgage rates. Well, it's only 40 degrees on these mornings, but the insulated curtain on the outside of the greenhouse is down, baby. So that means we are getting ready for our winter version of the greenhouse. So on Monday, I have the day off. Thank you, Mr. Columbus. And so we're gonna come in and we're gonna give the greenhouse its winter haircut. So I will make a video on what that means. But right now, if you look at it, you see that you've got this really cool canopy over the greenhouse. Well, that canopy is for intermittent shade and also all the water content. But in the winter, we have to have more sunlight so that that back wall can get inputted with tons and tons of sunlight. So we can warm up the 2,000 gallons of water and warm up the thermal mass walls. By the way, I just always like to give you an update on the lemon. It seems to me that it's finally changing colors. Oh, and we haven't really talked about the fig. Look at the fig tree. I've never grown figs before. Fig Newton. So this thing is one of my newer plants, but my gosh, it's just decided that it wants to live here because it's exploding. Anyway, so back to so see how we have this mostly opened up. We've already taken off the Armenian cucumbers. So we're gonna be taking a lot more. We'll leave the peppers because if you saw my videos from last year, I mean, the peppers, look at them. They're just everywhere and they're just growing up higher and higher. Harvesting might be a little bit awkward, but using the height of the greenhouse so that you don't spread out into the grow space has been something we've liked to do. Oh, and something extremely cool. So we've been harvesting the passion fruit on this side of the greenhouse. But this one over here, now that it's getting sun, is going into blossom. I mean, that's just wild. You gotta admit. So we're back. It's like This was the first one to get fruit, and then this one was the last one, but now we're back to the first. First shall be last, and last shall be first. Here we go, boom. So that just shows you that there are different microclimates in the greenhouse. Same thing's happening with the artichokes. We just got harvested on the one that's on the south side, and now that the one that's on the north side is getting sunlight, probably in a month or so we'll have another 50 artichokes on that plant. I think it's kind of cool. We're trying to nerd out, but to be honest with you, we've been just too consumed with the remodel. But I just got done with the remodel, so we should be able to play in here a little bit more. So this is kind of like the tropic part of the greenhouse, and you know, I mean, we got all of these cherry tomatoes. To be honest with you, we'll probably take those out because we have cherry tomatoes in the back of the greenhouse, and we'll see if those can just last us through the winter, and we'll let some more sunlight in here. I don't know, we're experimenting. But this is the big portion that's gonna get the winter haircut. So we've got a little bit of work to do. Check out the oranges. They don't look orange, but they are. They're actually tangelos, and they're everywhere. I've got to come prop this bad boy up. So the green is extremely impressive. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Honestly, this is as ugly as our greenhouse gets because we've been so distracted. Becca has been doing massive amounts of harvesting. All of our freezers are full of all of our fruit. By the way, have you ever had Asiatic pears freeze dried? Maybe my favorite. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so here's over here. We have most of this kind of cleared out already. There's still a little bit more to do. So this is the artichoke I was telling you about. So it's starting to get full sunlight, and it's growing awesome. So I'm expecting we're gonna start seeing the artichoke vegetables growing within a month or so. And got the avocado just doing its thing. All right, there's an update in the greenhouse. So look for the next video, and we'll show you what this looks like in after a haircut. Every single one of these things affects us, guys. I have a lot of rental properties. I just put my pink house, which I just got done, just put it on the market. And what I had to put it on the market to stay above my cost with a small amount of margin profitability is just insane. For the county that I live in, to be able to keep things affordable, it's getting to the point to where I can't. Everyone's getting squoze. Well, it's because of high rates, and it's because of high inflation. Because of the high inflation, they're raising rates even further. And so that American dream of home ownership, affording housing, it's just going out the door. And you know, what are our politicians doing? I mean, honestly, these clowns are just making it worse. I mean, oh wow, we just impeached Speaker of the House. It's something that's never been done. You know, there's probably reasons to get rid of him, don't get me wrong. I mean, one side of me is happy about that. But the other side that just makes me mad, I am a fairly staunch conservative, and I'm very upset that my party seems to only be fiscally conservative when the other party's in power. And like the spending crisis that we have that equates to $33 trillion national debt, that's a bipartisan achievement. These idiots don't care. And I would also blame ourselves. We're the one electing these idiots. We don't have any kind of accountability for them. Are you outraged at high gasoline prices, which comes from, you know, horrible energy policy? Because if you and I don't get outraged, then how do we not deserve the current climate that we're in right now? I think it's our fault. We're lulled away into a false security, and we get what we vote for. So the situation that we're in means that we have had a digital bread line for the last 3 years, which has given all this excess money into the system, which has now created all this excess cash, which has created inflation. I call it a digital bread line because we didn't have, you know, the horrible image of people that were just desperate because of the current economic situation like that was in the Depression. We had it given to us digitally, so you didn't have to wait in line for it. It just came to you. Sometimes you didn't even ask. And so we went from record high savings to right now we're at record low savings. The other thing that's happened recently is that credit card debts have jumped to record highs. So record high on credit card rates, record lows on savings, record high, 23-year high on rates. Housing prices maybe have softened, but they're not coming down. So the whole thing is jumbled. Tell me in the comments if you got schools out of this housing economy. You know, I know people who sold their house and they were so grateful because they got $100,000 in equity. Well, you know what? Big flipping deal. They got their $100,000 and then they waited for a few months and the appreciation in the housing market went over 150, then 200, and they became priced out of the market. So then they waited for just a little bit of time thinking that the housing crisis would soften, the housing would crash, and that they would just be able to go and buy a cheaper house with these low interest rates. Well, rates went up and the market appreciated to such a degree that they literally, with their 100,000 cash that they pulled out, which by the way, most of them spent on their credit cards, not judging, I'm just saying the pain is real. The money is gone and they're now renting record high rents and they're no longer in a house. So if you've had any issues with housing, put it down in the comments. What I'm trying to get at is this whole economy is just one big, fat, jumbled mess. And people are in pain, and I do not see solutions politically. So taking it back to our homesteads, you know, if we are wise, we would look around at the harvest opportunities around us, and we would get busy and get to work. Because things aren't going to get better, guys. If you're waiting around for a government solution, you are going to be waiting in vain. I firmly believe that. I'm just sitting out here at a football game. It was halftime. It just started. And I just really want to squeeze a video out to you and just give you a little bit of a political rant, because rather you nerd out in the numbers or not, rather you're following inflation or not, rather you're following the market or not, the 10-year treasury bond, the record high rates, rather you're following that, gasoline prices, or the $10 Subway footlong, rather you're nerding out and looking at the numbers or not, it doesn't matter. Your life is being affected by this garbage. Oh yeah! Is that my jelly? We just got an interception, baby. Okay, I'm going back to the game. Just want to let you know that I'm going to be making a video coming up on the greenhouse. We are going to be taking all of the summer foliage down, not all of it, a lot of the summer foliage down. So the summer canopy, and preparing it so more sunlight can be input on the back of the greenhouse. So things are going really good with that. The pink house, that remodel is done. So I will be shortly going over to the Rock Manor, tearing more plaster off and giving you updates on that cool building. So I just wanted to check in, let you know I'm still here. I'm very busy, and I hope you're keeping busy too, because right now, shoulder to the wheel, baby. Keep at it. Don't let up. If you can't see the signs of the times and the troubling situation that we're in, you're asleep. I'm your alarm clock. Wake up, baby. See you next video. Bye.